We were in Minneapolis last week. Well, he wasn't.
I wasn't.
Hey, for those of you guys that don't
vacation.
know, might be joining our channel for the first time, this is G.I. Joe. This is the G.I. Joe. They named the 80s cartoon after him and everything. All that stuff you did in the 80s.
All that stuff I did in the 80s. Like, be born.
So,
just came out excellent. Awesome.
Anyways. So we're just going to hang out with you guys, show you around the shop. Boy, we're just recovering from last week's live. If you caught it live, cool. If you didn't catch it live, Thomas, I'm pretty sure we can make that go
Every
live
time you
again.
hit this, it shakes the camera, dude. Just like in the video where you knocked the thing over, the chameleon.
We also have Thomas here.
What's up, guys?
So he's going to have to fix our new framing and everything and tell me to quit hitting stuff.
Yeah, we'll back it up because we got 2 people in here.
So last week,
They both got big heads in
if
here.
you didn't know that Snake Discovery had a competition for a build-off, you must be living under a rock. Maybe it's just me, but they're all over the internet. It's really cool videos from their different perspectives. If you don't know about that yet, can you link up in the description where they vote, the actual link they can go and vote?
Yes.
We need you guys all to vote. There are some very talented, very popular people out there that we were competing against. So please go vote. If you've seen the build, obviously vote for whoever you like best. But if you want to vote for us, you can use our link in this description. If you want to vote for
That'll
someone
be
else,
there
you
in
have to find it on your own.
a minute. It's on
Alright.
Snake Discovery's community tab if you want to look for it.
Yeah, you
but
can
I'll
get
put
it
it
there
in the
too.
description. And you might need to refresh the page to see it.
So last week's live, we didn't keep up for a while because we had actually filmed a whole bunch of people like finished designs and stuff, and Emily from Snake Discovery didn't want that stuff being shown off until she had time to like release her videos and everything. So kudos to you if you got in early, you got to see that live. But if you didn't get it, then Thomas is actually going to make that available again, so you can go back and watch that. It actually captured, like, if you guys saw anyone else's videos on this stuff, like everyone was like, what's Garrett doing? What's Garrett doing? His cage has nothing in it and it's like an hour and a half left to go. And that live was literally streamed during the last hour. So it was basically, I mean, we built all our stuff outside, but it was like getting everything in the cage and set up live there at the competition.
It is, just a heads up, it is only available to Patreon right now, but like Garrett said, it'll be up to the rest of you guys probably next week or later this week.
I think you can do now, can't you?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
you have
you're
it?
right. Everything's up.
Just make it live right now.
Let me
It'll be good. We'll just put it back up there, and then you guys can jump on and watch that one.
right
wanna
after
catch
this
it in the
one
build.
for sure.
And yes, I saw Brian Cusko was asking, this is G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So,
Super chat, 2 super
on.
chats.
Super chat, too. Okay, one for me and one for you. You ready?
Alright.
Yeah, super chat. Thank you, guys. Joe says he doesn't dance. We just
I don't
proved
dance.
otherwise.
don't
Congratulations, my friend. You can dance. Summer Mitchell, if you're watching, we might need some help up here, too. What's the
Yeah.
super chat?
I have to pull up the thing. You're gonna have to zoom in. You
Oh,
can zoom
let's
in
see,
on the
Mr. and Mrs. Morelli. What's up, guys? Our inclusion build was awesome. Loved it. Thought behind it, personal items, etc. Top notch. Chris wants a cow update. Oh my gosh, Chris, are you serious?
Everyone wants to count on.
All right, I'll go get the cow. Don't have a cow, Chris, but yeah, it was
can
fun.
find it.
Yeah, she's in the FB40s in the bottom row, closest to this side. She's doing way good. I was concerned with her for a little bit. She had some health issues. Patreon knows about this. We have a whole kind of behind the scenes Patreon community, so they know what's up with that. But she's doing really good. She's growing. She's gaining weight. She's back on end. So that's awesome. You find her?
I did.
Okay.
Here's
So yeah. So anyway, that build was awesome. Oh my gosh, all the contestants that were there were fantastic. It was really cool. Here she is, guys. Here, check it out.
Be careful, the fun might fall out.
Spots are getting all big and dark. Yeah.
the
There we go. So hottie. She's getting thin for a while. She was like having, you know, she's got a big old meal in her right now. But she was having some funky, she had like let's see if we can still see it. I was wondering like if she had dislocated a rib or something. Here it is right here. You can kind of just see, well, maybe you can't. It's like right there. It was just a weird little bump on her. And I was like, what's going on? And then she was, Yeah, I can feel it. You can see it right there. She was just not feeling too well. So she quit eating for a little bit there, and that kind of concerned me because a lot of rumors about white snakes and not being able to eat. And I was like, oh no, is it this? But whatever it was, she got over it, and it's healing up, and you know what I mean? And so now she's eating again and doing good. This is the reason why she's so significant. Is this is a 50% Super Dwarf cow, one of only a couple that exist. So, and she's the only one for sale. That's an epic morph that I think a lot of people are gonna really, be interested in being a part of this project in the future. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Look at this big old spot coming right there. Big paradoxing spot on her.
Cool.
So, yeah, so that stuff was fun. I had a blast with everybody there, but oh my gosh, our build, Thomas, you can vouch for this. It was exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
We were running. I didn't stop to eat or drink or take a leak the whole time.
Nothing.
And then we used every second of our time. We needed it because it was a pretty ambitious build idea that I'd had. And they had like half of the cages were sealed and half were unsealed in the beginning. So they said, hey, whoever wants to take an unsealed enclosure and use silicone and seal up, just the seams when you build those PVC boxes, whoever wants to seal it up themselves will give you an extra 15 minutes. I was like, I'll take that because it'll take me a minute or two to seal it and then I can gain those. So it was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen it yet, if you're on our Patreon, you'll actually be able to watch the build this Thursday. That's tomorrow, our build. You can see it on a lot of other people's channels, but on everyone else's channels, it's just a big black hole the whole time until they're like, hey, Garrett finished right in time. You know what I mean? So if you actually want to see what I was up to for 5 hours when no one knew where I was, you're going to have to watch our video, which will drop for the public on Friday.
We were talking
Patreon perks for everybody?
I mean, we might as well for that day.
Oh, man.
So we can get that home field advantage,
I don't know. All right. So listen, if you guys want us to, how many people do we have?
We have 64 watching right now.
64 watching, but I only see 30 likes. So
I think we get up to 50.
If you guys can get us up to 50 likes, like right now, maybe we will release Friday's video on Thursday, tomorrow, so that you guys can see it early. That would be pretty cool. You think you can pull that off?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Refreshing. Wow, we're already up to 46.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, there's 55. Yep, you got to see Thursday.
All right.
Thursday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard.
And if you want that every week, just join Patreon. What's our lowest level is $5 a month.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes content. My favorite is the $30 a month.
Yeah,
$30 a
$30 a month.
$30 a month, you get to, like, we'll do a Patreon stream after this. Everyone gets like a 40-second commercial, so you can kind of talk about yourself in front of all of our other patrons, which are really big in the reptile community and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. I don't know, you basically get all the perks at the $30 level. We do have a $100 a month level, but it's limited and it's full. Actually, it might not be full. I think we have one spot open. I believe one person, they talked about that they were going to take a break off of that level for a while. Those usually fill up pretty fast. It's called the breeder level. So, and at the breeder level tier, you actually get to like vote on our breedings and be a part of like, so I'll be like, hey, this female's going to breed. Should I put her to this male or that male? And you get to decide. We talk about it all like throughout the season, and that's a lot of stuff that we're going through right now, actually.
Yep.
So, Joe gets to do that a lot, but you have to own the female to do it, so it's a little more expensive.
I mean, I own a couple females that are here. I own several animals that are sitting here.
You guys probably remember G.I. Joe from all our videos. You've been gone for how long, though, in Korea?
Oh, man, it's coming up. So I get to come home for a little bit on some leave. I head back in a couple weeks. I'll go back over there on the 31st, and then I'll come back.
Poor guy and for spending time with us on his leave. After being overseas for 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that he's finished soon, but I don't know. We have kind of a big announcement why you're on here, why you're wearing this shirt, and all that kind of stuff. You wanna take it?
Yeah. So humbly accepted a position here at Reach Out Reptiles.
Do anything humbly.
I humbly accepted the new. So I'm the new sales manager here at Reach Out Reptiles.
Woo-hoo!
Trying to take a little weight off of this guy.
Oh man, I'll tell you.
So if you guys have to start getting, if you're reaching out, like it's probably gonna be me. You're gonna be talking to quite a bit. Even when I go back over to Korea. I'll be talking to you guys. So anything that you're sending into the email at info will probably be
Info at reachoutReptiles.com.
Yep. So you'll be talking to me, and then I'm gonna set it up where you guys will be able to hit me up on WhatsApp and stuff once I get back over there, get settled back down. That way I can help you guys out with getting whatever snakes you want. We got a system in place to make it work flawlessly.
So in other words, we're outsourcing our work to Korea now.
Yeah.
So.
Way to make it political.
There you go. I had to. I couldn't help it.
I was gonna say we should drop your number in the chat. I was gonna say we need to drop his phone number in the chat so you can text him super chat dances. But on the flip side, if you want to
412-925-1933. Text in your super chat dance,
33.
and that way you don't have to see me and Joe dance. It'll be awesome.
I don't know. I kind of like Joe's dancing.
Oh boy. So yeah. So anyways, I don't know. What did you guys think? What did you guys think about the build? Did you have a good time? I'll tell you what. It didn't go as I planned.
Does anything ever go as you planned?
Well, no, but I mean, like my predictions, and I think a lot of the online predictions were like way off as far as what was going to happen.
Yeah. Maybe not as far as your plan goes, but I think expectations versus.
Well, I had my plan and I executed it, but what I'm talking about is the way that, you know, like if we were predicting who was going to win and stuff like that. Like, for example, I was saying that Clint's Reptiles, I was like, yeah, he's done a couple of builds. I don't know that he's particularly like talented with the whole naturalistic build thing or whatever. I'm being honest with you guys. I didn't know. I was ignorant. And I said, but I predicted that he would win anyways because I was like, he could just buy like a rubber ducky at the toy store before he comes in, throw it in and be like, it's stinking rad, you know, and everybody would be excited because Clint is amazing and he's too easy to fall in love with. So I thought that he would win based on that alone. And then he ended up actually having an amazing enclosure, you know, and then there were other people that I saw everybody predicting that they were going to win, and I don't know, their build, I mean, all the builds were awesome. They were all really good, but there were certain ones that stuck out to me more, like not even talking about our build. I'll let you guys watch that video and decide on yourself. But I don't know, Thomas, you were there. Who is your favorite build? Put you on the spot. Personal opinion.
I mean, I would be honest, like, just as a starting point, as soon as we were done that enclosure, I was like, I don't want to look at this like thing anymore.
Ever again.
Yeah, exactly. But I knew the next day I'd appreciate it more. So I like biasly, I really liked what Garrett had done. I didn't really come up with anything creatively, but just helping him and like actually putting in some sweat and blood and stuff, it was like,
that's funny.
I kind of feel a little bit like part owner of this, you know?
Yeah, but you can't count ours. So aside from ours,
that's what I'm saying.
Who was your favorite build? Forget the people. Enclosure alone.
So, this is hard. Clint's
it is cool. Really hard. There are a lot of good ones.
I liked Brian's because of like all the glowy mushrooms and like it was just super like
coordinated theme. Yeah.
It was cohesive. It was coordinated. He executed well. I liked the mushroom theme. Like I said, glowing mushrooms are cool. I don't know. They're all like good. You know, they all had merits. I liked what is it? How do you say his name? Dion.
Dion. Yeah.
Okay. I liked his a lot. I gotta like the process they went through to actually make it. So that's I think what I enjoyed more was seeing how it turned out. There's just so many good.
Dreamer, I think it is going to be an annual thing. There were a lot of good. That's why I was saying like there wasn't anybody that disappointed in any way, shape, or form. But I think my favorite is it comes down to two. The one that I liked was Tyler and Maddie's because it had just those huge rock elements and it had like it's really hard to see in the videos, so you guys have to take our word for it. And if you end up getting the opportunity to win or buy one of these cages or however they're going to do it, these were my two favorite. Tyler's was good because it had tremendous three-dimensionality. They would have areas where they had two like giant rocks fit together with like a little crevice in between, and those are exactly the kind of places that I find reptiles in the wild. And then my other favorite one, and I think this might actually be my all-time favorite out of all of them, was Elle's Reptiles. They did a really awesome job. Their cage was very well coordinated, and it was super naturalistic, but it was also whimsical because they had this like Hobbit house hide thing that they had built with like these little mossy top. It looked like like the Shire or something. They had this one really deep cave with a little illuminated mushroom in the back that turned out really cool. And it just seemed like it was like a nighttime build for some reason. It was kind of weird. Like they didn't put anything on the sides of their cage except for a few like floating mushroom shelves. So it looked like you were like looking off into the night or something. Like you could go and get lost in their cage. So I think if I was gonna own one, it would probably be Elle's Reptiles. I think that was my favorite. But
Sissa said she voted for, or I don't know if it's a she or you, but they voted for Elle's.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was very cool. There was a lot of really, really good ones in there. So, but I mean, I think you could talk to any one of us that were there.
Aurora was there. She said she loved Elle's, Clint's, Tyler's, and Maddie's. Slash
Yep.
Maddie's.
Yeah, I agree. But the real win was just being there. I don't know how they pulled it off, but the common thread between everybody that was there is that they were like all of the most authentic, like reptile YouTubers.
Right.
Every single person that was there, we're all very different from different ends of the spectrum and stuff like that. But every person there was just real. They were them. They were good people. You know, wouldn't you agree, Thomas?
Yeah, I think everybody there was very much didn't feel like they were any above anybody else. At least
they're
the way
exactly
they presented
the way they
themselves.
are in their videos. Nobody's fake. Nobody's doing that kind of stuff. So that was really cool because you don't always see that with any kind of entertainment today. So that was the best thing. And I am really excited for you guys to see this build. So I guess we're releasing it tomorrow. So there won't be a video on Friday. Friday's video will come up tomorrow for everyone, which is normally exclusively a perk for patrons. So Patreon, sorry, we're gonna make you share this one time.
Leslie, we have a link in the description that you can click on there. It'll pull up a poll.
Yeah,
you can
poll,
vote
you
there.
can vote for one,
And it shows the results, live results, so you get to see the
after
race.
you vote, you get to see what's
The turtle
up,
race
so.
of votes stacking up.
Yep. I'm pretty nervous because Clint's Reptiles is our kind of main competitor at this point, and he just released his build video, and it was stinking rad. And I want an emerald tree skink now. I was just telling Rob earlier today. I was like, all right, he convinced me. I was like, whatever, you're crazy. But then I watched this little video of if you haven't seen Clint's Reptile, you gotta go jump on his channel right now. He's got the little video of these emerald tree skinks, which is what he built his enclosure for. And he like puts his hand out, and they're just like jumping on him. You know what I mean? They like get away, run on the floor, and he goes, hey, and he panned out, and they like jump up and run up his arm. And I'm like, they're like monkeys. What the hell?
I want one.
Yeah, they're really
I mean,
cool.
not that I need one, but I want one.
Yeah. Hey, I think what we should do, I don't know if you guys know this, but G.I. Joe constantly spends all his money on Super Dwarfs. So I think we should take them through a private tour of your reptiles. Because if there's one thing I don't normally show in these lives, it's like people's animals that already bought animals. Unless, of course, it's you guys super chatting and being like, show me my reptile. Then we'll pull those out. But I don't go through and give you guys tours of other people's stuff. You want to show off what you got?
Yeah, we can do
What
that.
you bought sight unseen from across the world?
Yeah,
the last couple of years?
actually,
Let's go check 'em
I've
out.
got a few that over the last 2 years I've been there that I've bought.
We're doing a lot of dishes, guys. So, and hey, if you guys are in San Diego, hit up Rob Roush. He's actually heading out there for vacation for the next week, so he's getting everybody ready.
All right, so let's see. Like this was one. It's a Karrampa male. I bought these. This is from last year.
Oh, just shed. Look at
Just
that.
shed out. Look at that.
Ew.
But I bought this sight unseen. I was just like, Garrett, pick me one out.
So if anybody is wondering, Karrampa is, if you haven't heard, that's a pure island locality. They're named Karrampa after the island they come from. They are the smallest reticulated pythons in the world, and super chaotic pattern, bright, and they seem to be very, very like reluctant to bite ever. Even our wild caught ones, they never strike at us. They really don't musk or anything. So, and then the captive bred ones are a whole other story.
Oh yeah, well I mean
So-
like they just know, all they know is fingers in their face and everything else from the start. So
Right.
you just sit here and he's just like, whatever, get away from me, like.
Thank
And
you.
but when you do this, like when they're young like this, that's the key to making them where you can do this as an adult.
And then you got a
So that's
half unrelated female too, which is
Yeah.
as unrelated as you can get right now. So far, we're
Really?
the only ones in the U.S. that have actually bred these in captivity.
So here's the female, because I couldn't buy just one. I had to buy, you know, a pair. So I actually
something like that, yeah.
I mean, so I was cool. I actually got to buy the first captive bred pair, so kind of got that bragging right with that one. But she's phenomenal too. Not quite as chaotic as the male, which is cool because it offers a little bit of that diversity in what'll come out. Not everything will be crazy.
Just to put in perspective on size, these are 18 months old.
Yeah. So this was
these are old, these little
April 25th.
I'll show you an adult in a minute.
Hey, for everybody asking questions, we will be doing a little bit of Q&A later. So if you want to save those so we don't miss them, just a heads up.
So about those, that's 2.
You could interrupt us if there's an especially good.
Yeah, but that's such like a pretty snake. I don't want to interrupt that.
Let's see, what else? Oh, this is a really cool one. This female. I didn't really buy this one sight unseen. This was one though.
Oh, Nathan Katz says Joe is my favorite SD guy there is. Sorry, everybody else. I think that includes you too, Garrett.
Oh man. So this was really cool. This was a female. It's a pure super dwarf. So she came off of yeah, she is. She's deep. But she was the coolest one of that clutch. I mean, so she was she came off a TK line female, my pure female that's here, and then we did it with the Pro Reptiles line, just an old school line super dwarf, really crazy, super dark. And this one just came out like,
look at those,
the best of everything.
Super thick black line down her back. I love it.
Yeah. So she was pretty cool, and then, as you can see, like her size, I mean, she's actually older than those 2 Karampas, and she's pretty close in size to them right now.
No, she's 3 months younger.
No, come over.
3 months younger. Well, at least this one.
Oh yeah, the female.
She's in between the 2.
The male was all right. Let's see, what else do we got?
You made that.
I had to do Madus, so it wasn't enough just to do Karampas. I had to get Madus too.
You get this purple over here too. That's funny.
Yeah.
Chris Donut says, Garrett, hey, loved your snake discovery build. Thought it was quite naturalistic and really brought the passion of keeping reptiles to the roots.
Thanks, buddy. I knew we didn't have a chance of even placing if we didn't give everything like body, soul, and mind to that build. So, what do you got there, Joe?
So this is the Madu female out of the pair that I bought.
There's another island locality, pure super dwarves. These guys have lost most of their habitat, natural habitat anyway, to human activity on the island. So that's a little bit scary because they're almost not even being bred in captivity. This is the only clutch in the last decade, and that was hatched here as well.
And these are super cool. So I bought, that's the female.
And for those of you just joining us, we do a Wednesday live show every Wednesday.
Wednesday at 6 Eastern.
Yep. So right now we're just showing off a bunch of hot snakes.
Yep. The hotness episode.
The hotness episode. Maybe that should just be a full episode sometime. It's just
the hotness episode.
The hotness episode. We haven't done one of those.
This is an adult. So these are reticulated pythons, guys. They're currently listed as the same species as the mainland retail. Oh, he just spit all over. Sorry, buddy. He's taking a drink. He just went
nice.
Hosed all the clean dishes. All right. Look at it. Look at this. It's like a Rottweiler.
He's like mad.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You'll lose all your water there. Okay, we'll put him back. I just wanted to show you guys how tiny these are. So this is a wild-caught Karampa Island adult breeder. He's he's probably about 10 to 15 years old. Okay.
what's your length estimate on that? Someone was asking.
Length estimate on this guy?
Yep.
He's probably like 6 foot. He's a little under 6. So.
And you said 10 to 15.
10 to 15 years old, yeah. We don't know for sure. Look at this. I didn't know if you guys knew about snake slobber, but look at that. He was drinking, so he got like all his water just went.
Made him
Sorry,
mad.
buddy. I'm gonna get over here and wash that up. Yeah, he made all our clean dishes dirty too.
Yeah, way to go. Rob will be happy. So that's the Madu male. I picked him out. I liked him mostly for that awesome looking head stamp right there. So, but just great pattern. I love these tight little rosettes all the way down. And just all the way down to the tail.
Oh, no. That was close the live with its face.
Oh, don't close the live. Don't close the live. So this was another one.
Here's what that Madu adult looks like. I don't know if I can open this. Okay, she's gonna come out and try to eat you. All right, Thomas, you good with
That's
that?
fine. Yep.
Good.
Seen worse.
There's an adult Madu in one of these little cages that we got. See, we always got our shelves in there. These are not as fancy as like the little wooden pallet build or like jungle-y stuff or whatever. But when you have this many snakes, being able to get in and see what they're up to and clean them, making sure they don't have any, parasites or that they're eating good or they're shedding well. It really helps to have like those simplistic cages. But that's a pretty cavernous cage with the shelves top and bottom. I don't know if you can see it.
I can probably
Cute
look through
little-
the window on the side.
Cute little Madu girl. For size comparison, there's my hand on her. So, hey, baby. Boom. I just saw an alligator video where the gal tried to do that and it didn't go so well for her.
Right.
I don't know if you guys saw that one on the news. Yeesh. What else you got over here?
So this is this is the male that I
They're
kept.
all in blue.
They are in blue. It's because
Oh,
Rob's been
man.
feeding them, but that's all right though.
Conspiracy.
But this guy is super cool. I did this breeding with Nathan Katz. What's up, brother? I know you're watching. So here's the little male that I kept.
Sick.
It's a Anery Golden Child Sun Platinum. And he's 100% het albino. Those are 50% Kalatoa and
Teeny little boogers.
5% Jamp. I'm trying to remember. I gotta look up the Jamp.
They're 50% Calato. I think they're
18.75. Right. Yeah.
Clint says, Garrett, what does it feel like to be so amazing in so many ways?
Oh, come on, buddy. Don't patronize me. You already know.
But this guy's gonna be an awesome
Tag.
breeder.
Sorry, Cusco says, don't need to make his head any bigger, Clint. We need him to leave that room at some point.
That's true.
Good stuff, man.
So this
So
guy-
we'll just be the first to announce it here on our live. Did you guys know that Clint and his whole family are coming to visit Pittsburgh just as soon as we get a new building and upgrade all the snakes?
Nice.
There you go. You heard it here first. Thank you, Clint. I'm excited for that. Bring you and Leisha out and all the kids.
Adam says, Garrett, where are you hanging that well-deserved build-off plaque?
I'm going to send it to. I honestly, I was gonna send it to my favorite build, which I think is Elle. So I don't know if she wants it, but I just thought that would be kind of cool. Like, hey, here's my plaque. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that she did the best one. I mean, you could watch the thing. We didn't cheat, but we super cheated. I mean, like.
I think stretched or found loopholes is a more appropriate word.
Yeah, I mean, we stayed within the rules, but we did not follow the intention. We didn't use any of the sponsored materials. We did stuff. I rigged that competition to work within my strength. So I think it was fun. It was creative. It was all in good sport, and it was, I think, fair. But at the same time, there's no way that if I had just straightforward built with those natural materials that all the rest of you guys that were in that competition were given, there's no way I would have even come close to building anything as cool as what you guys did. So I had to alter it a little bit to fit what I'm able to do. And then it's like me competing at my own game. So
And by altering, he means like sticking a Sawzall in a like half-built enclosure and like chopping pieces off randomly.
oh yeah, well there was those kind of alterations happening too. Oh my gosh! And you guys, if first of all, I got a couple hours worth of work out of Thomas here, who was supposed to just be filming. So if I hadn't had Thomas there, and then Brian Cusco and Clint are so cool that even though they were finished, they didn't want to see me have an unfinished enclosure. So Clint jumped in at the very end. I don't know how much of this we caught because Thomas was working too. So you heard the story here, but Clint jumped in, helped me run the wire out through the screen cage, and he cut our false bottom because we did make like a bioactive multi-layer thing, and Brian was in there trying to help us put the elements in and lift stuff.
Amber
like
Furlong says, but leaving your grandpa's tools in there really sealed the deal. Like my heart couldn't take it.
I think we got a few tears there in the room and stuff too. But like I said, I knew that I wouldn't win this build competition because I don't think anyone. I mean, look at the room we're standing in, guys. Everyone's like,
Hold on, we're gonna do a full
pan.
pan. We're gonna do a full pan.
Why would he go to a naturalistic build off against YouTubers that have their animals and their enclosures that they build and videotape and put, and we're doing the breeding stuff here, and so it's a little bit more industrial and everything. So I don't think anyone expected us. In fact, it was one of the volunteer / employees that are there at Snake Discovery. They were begging them to let us in when other people couldn't come. So we squeaked in under the wire, flew in under the radar, whatever you want to say, And I don't think anyone thought we were going to win, so I knew I'd have to show up because there's a lot of really talented, awesome pet tubers there.
Danny Noss, I believe, said, "Did anyone ever see his old office decor? I had no doubt."
Oh, yeah.
Plus,
yeah.
if you've seen the trade show booth, you could predict exactly what was going to happen.
I'm older than I look. I've kept everything every different way. You know what I mean? We're just doing one thing very specifically right now. So, and even the new build, I'll tell you, this weekend has definitely got me thinking and inspired about how I want to set up the new shop and everything. It should be pretty sick.
So,
yeah.
Talia said they voted for Brian. Yours definitely had a different vibe, so A for creativity, but my vote went to Brian. Hey, we liked Brian's too.
Yeah, Brian's was good. Gotta go with the whole, I like that he had the whole theme all thought out. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you got?
So this is the female from that clutch that Nathan and I kept. So this is a platinum sun anery.
All deep and shit.
Yeah, deep in shed, so you're not even getting everything, but like you can see definitely along that tail just how much that sunfire influenced right through there.
Looks like she needs a pee.
Right? I'm waiting for it, just all over me. But yeah, I mean, an anery platinum sunfire, I think this is a great combination. 100% het snow, so that's the female that I kept off that clutch with Nathan. Super tiny. I mean, these are some of the smallest 50%ers that have come through Reach Out Reptiles.
Oh, I loved them. Look, here's mine from that clutch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the ones I kept, so I have more of them than you do.
I know it's ridiculous. Listen, had I been here,
mine's
right?
not
Get out of here, Garrett. I need to see.
Mine's not in blue.
Listen,
so mine aren't as fancy because he got pics of the litter and everything.
Right, but had I been
But I just
here,
scooped them all up because they're great genetics.
No, had I been here, this girl, look at this platinum, like even in blue, those blacks are just crazy. So
I told you I'd trade for your sun, Platty.
I know you would.
Quit your whining.
But hey,
you got a purple that you kept this year too, which I told you. I was like, hey. So we did a breeding together that we were partners on. It was my female, your male, and I told him, I said, I don't think I'm gonna keep anything out of this clutch because I didn't necessarily. I wanted to see how the breeding would turn out, and they were fire.
They were amazing.
But I was like, there's one that's awesome though, man. And so even though I have pick of the litter, like, I don't know, you might want to, because he was like, I don't know if I need one either. But this thing turned out nuts. Oh, look, they're blue.
Yeah.
Nathan wants to know what you held back from your clutch with Nathan.
Me? I kept all 3 anery platinum het albinos and a double het. Low end females.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Morelli say, show the purple.
Show me the purple. That's her.
So this one definitely stood out among the
Coyote,
whole clutch.
Kalatoa, and Jamp. And it just got all the best of all those localities. Look at this weird stripe.
Yeah, so my whole goal with this is just, 100% het snow, right? But, just that awesome back pattern, and I want to see if I can widen it out even more.
It's got so much color, too. You got to put that to like an orange glow or something.
I'm going to put it to a motley het orange glow anery.
Look at the bands on the sides. Look at those stripes. The little vertical stripes.
Look how deep those oranges are. Even in blue, it's crazy.
Yeah. Coyote.
So,
that's what they do.
That's the way it works, right? So, I kept that. But those are some of the babies that I've got around here. There's a few adults around here.
I love going through these racks. Here's the goat line. These are starting to get good. This is a Super Dwarf Sulawesi. This is the first time that we Super Dwarfed or shrank down a different locality. So we used a pure Sulawesi male that was an F1 from Wild Caught, and we bred him to one of our smallest breeding Super Dwarf females. And this guy should be the kind of lemon yellow head, retic, like that epic jungle look as an adult, but Super Dwarf size. Look at those huge chubby cheeks that guy's got. We call it goat line, like the acronym, greatest of all time. All right, what kind of questions we got here, Thomas? That's enough.
Let's go sit down so I can see my list.
You can bring him over here. All right. Can we get some water in this right now?
Dude, I'm sweating in there.
Yeah, that's
No wonder if Rob kept that fan going.
Yeah, he complains a lot. We love you, Rob. Yeah, if you guys are in San Diego, that's where Rob's at for this weekend. So hit him up. Go grab some
Brian
lunch or something
Kesko
like
says
that.
go with lots of party emojis.
Heck yeah.
Is there a message?
What's up, buddy?
A little rub nose.
Hey, these are work hard, play hard guys, man.
Yeah, right.
He's been in breeding, doing his thing.
All right, you want some questions?
I want some
Yeah, I want
questions.
some questions. Let's see.
All right.
While I hang out with my buddy here. I'm just curious. How many of you guys that have like been through the facility and you've seen that random tag? Because you got Mr. Wonderful, right? But then Mr. Wonderful, and so this is Kevin, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're telling them your secret
So,
online?
I'm gonna
there's a
reveal it,
bunch of
right?
people.
I'm gonna reveal it. So
I don't know if Jason Bigler is here or not, but I know he noticed.
that so if you watch right Shark Tank, everybody knows Mr. Wonderful. So I have this guy, it's a snow golden child, and then I have his brother. And so I got his brother first, and I named him Mr. Wonderful, and then this guy is Kevin, right? And everybody was like asking, like, did you really sell?
So
snake?
we name our snakes. You guys know this. You helped us name a bunch. If you hang to the end of the live, closer to 7 o'clock, you can jump in and shout out some names and stuff like that. What's up, Anders from Sweden? And we'll name some animals right here with you. But so I put a little tag on their thing that has their name on it. Mm-hmm. And so I also put tags of names of customers, usually in a different color or whatever. But if a snake is sold to somebody, so this is a pretty elite snake for his time. I think that was probably the most expensive dwarf retic you could buy
At the time, yeah.
Yeah, and
I bought 2 of them.
So, somebody flexing over here.
Oh, super chat.
So, that's you.
No, it's not me.
Yeah,
He's got a snake on him right now. Okay.
Due to the daughter's jiu-jitsu class, I usually miss these. Wish you guys all the best. Have we tried adding 3 drops of water to scotch yet? Yes, we did, Scottish Rob. Thank you very much. Yeah, it definitely opens up the flavor. So anyways, we named the snake Kevin O'Leary. And then a lot of people come in the shop and they're like, hey, is there anything that we can't film or whatever? And I'm like, just don't film the names of people who bought snakes because, it's just a matter of privacy, right? Like, you guys can show what you bought if you want, but I'm not going to show it off. And so everyone that goes in is like, oh my gosh, Kevin O'Leary, did he really buy a super dwarf from you? Because the snake's name is Kevin O'Leary.
Yes.
Hashtag Mr. Wonderful. If you're watching, we need a sponsorship? I don't know.
Location sponsor.
Oh, what did you do?
Bud.
Oh, man.
He has always wanted to be the vlog snake. We should let Thomas deal with this one. That would be entertaining. Here, he'll figure it out.
He went through.
He's halfway through. I don't think he's making it all the way through.
Oh, no.
So. Yeah.
Maybe fine.
Set him down. Here, take this off. Hold on.
It's happening live.
It's happening live.
The difficulties
So,
of
for
Reptile
any of you guys
YouTube.
that don't know what that is, that's a camera cage that goes around my camera when I film. And that snake managed to get himself through the
I
battery
can't
hole.
get this thing off. Thomas, how do you remove?
You twist.
I just want to
He's gonna
take the
push
mic
himself
off so it doesn't get hurt. Just go like this.
We just pull this thing off.
All right. Just give him a little bit and let him sit there and he'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, he is too.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know if he needs to go forward or backward, but look at
Oh,
this guy.
man. That's where you pop the batteries in for the
He
kids.
looks like one of those little nature documentary
It's
snakes.
like
He's all
got a
rigged
handle
up
now.
and
He's
ready
got
to
a
go.
handle.
Duran says worse than the ceiling. I don't know. When Duran was here, he released a snake up into our ceiling vents. So, and it was a wild cockerompa. So I don't know if that's worse
Well,
than
he
the
didn't
ceiling.
release
Keep trying,
it. He didn't
Duran.
release it. It hooked itself, and it almost got released.
It
In
released
Duran's defense.
itself while Duran
In
was
Duran's
holding it. Yeah, you're very
I
nice,
was
Thomas.
actually distracting Duran, and then I didn't notice the fact that the snake was climbing under the
He's
ceiling.
the nice guy over here in the corner.
That's
not
a-
even
I
like
just,
right
listen,
now.
I think you're crapping on Duran more than is necessary.
How old is the oldest snake? The oldest snake that we have in the shop right now, she's actually nicknamed Grandma Madhu. We don't know how old she is, but I would guess she's around 30. So, yeah, she's pretty old. She's actually an old, wild-caught, pure Madhu Island female. I'd love to get her to breed someday because she, she wants to... she's just a bloodline that I'd love to make more of while they're doing it.
Super chat.
Super chat. You!
Isaac B.
Go.
Oh, hey.
I'll hold the camera snake.
I got it.
All right, go. Woohoo!
That's all I
All right, Isaac, is it normal for super dwarves to make an almost whistling
Bam.
sound while they're
Look at that.
handling? Oh, we got it.
Oh, sweet.
Do you have to go forward or backward? I'm
He
guessing
went backwards.
There you go. Easy there, buddy.
He'll be alright.
I wouldn't say it's normal, but I could probably explain it. So usually whistling just means there's some kind of obstruction in their nostrils. With super dwarves, it's really common, especially if they don't have a humid hide, that when they shed, their shed comes off in patches. And snakes actually shed the lining of their nostrils. And when they can't shed that, this is a big snake with tiny little nostril holes. And if there's stuck shed in there, they'll get that kind of like when they're breathing.
Yeah.
A lot of people will freak out and say it's a respiratory rate right away. And most of the time it's not. However, that is a possibility. If you hold them where their lungs are, which are a little bit further back, and you feel like a popping or a gurgling, like right here around a third, that could be a respiratory. Or if you see slime, like you guys saw my snake drooling all over earlier, a lot of times anytime someone sees snake saliva, they think they have a respiratory as well. That's not always true, but a combination of all those things could mean trouble. So if you ever see it like coughing or hacking, you may want to take it to a vet just to get it checked out. But most of the time, if you let it go through a shed cycle with good humidity or like a box full of moist sphagnum moss as a humid hide, you can get that taken care of. So good super chat. Hopefully that works out for you, and I hope that helps. All right. Don't want to mess with snakes that are longer than you, Chloe. Well, we got the Karampas. We pulled that sucker out. It's not quite 6 feet. I'm not quite 6 feet. Longer than you is really like, this guy is pretty small and easily manageable, but this snake is
He's 8 feet.
8 foot long.
Easily, I mean.
Yeah, because they're a long, here, look at this guy. They're a very long, skinny snake. I'll give you a bigger, but I mean, at 8 foot, he's about the size of a ball python. He weighs as much as a ball python, you know, but then when it's not until you really stretch him out that you're like, oh, he keeps going. You know, he's got a couple coils around his hand there and easily drops to the floor. So an 8 foot super dwarf is a very, very manageable snake for most people. He weighs a couple pounds. So if you can deal with a Chihuahua, you could probably deal with this guy. So
Yeah, I mean,
even though it might be
he just likes to move.
be longer than you.
Keep
What's up,
your
everybody?
camera cases away.
So someone says, we notice this channel's mostly snakes. Do I own other reptiles? I actually don't, but I don't know if Clint is still watching or not, but I think he might have convinced me to get some emerald tree skinks. Those are pretty cool. I've owned a ton of other reptiles, but what we do is we specialize very specifically in some of the rare island localities of dwarf and super dwarf reticulated pythons, and that's it. We've kept a bunch of them. We have a lot of like general reptile stuff, and a lot of people don't realize like super dwarves are kind of a niche, sort of. But I was looking around the room. I think I said this to you, Thomas, that there were 10 contestants at Snake Discovery's build-off, and 5 of them have super dwarves from me. So they're kind of quietly taking over, I think. But you know, I don't know.
Or you just sold all your friends super dwarfs. That might be.
That's true. I am friends with all
Which
of them. I
means
need to get
you
the
are
other
quietly
5
taking
now.
over.
I'm quietly taking over.
That's it.
Do I do anything quietly?
Not really.
Hi from Holland. Do I know any super dwarf breeders in the European Union? Yeah, there are. I'm not 100% like up on who's who and stuff like that, and like all the different bloodlines, because you really want to follow like the bloodlines of the snakes. It's not just about the breeder. If you're new, it really helps to go with a good breeder that you know is not going to mislead you, because you don't want to buy. Last thing you want to do is buy a snake you think is going to get this big because you saw it on our live stream, like, oh, that's reasonable. So you buy something with a dwarf or super dwarf label. He's not even a super dwarf. He's a dwarf retic, you know, technically. But you could buy something with a dwarf label that easily gets 16 feet too from other bloodlines, other breeders. So
And this is where it's really important, because we get a lot of questions and everybody's like, I want the highest percentage all the time, right? And like because they think it always means size, and that's the thing, is it does, and that's why it's really important to trace those bloodlines, look at the breeder, trust your breeders and stuff to show you, hey, if I tell you like your males off of this clutch are gonna get between 7 and 9 feet, like he's full grown, he's an adult. And here he is. He's 8 feet, and I can show you
selectively
that.
breeding a snake that's a little bigger than a corn snake
Yep.
to the biggest snake in the world, and you're going to get babies all sizes in between over all this generation. So, just to answer your question a short way, I know that Jason Peacock from the UK actually has a lot of our bloodlines of super dwarfs from back in the day, and he's been working on them ever since.
It makes them really pretty animals too.
Yeah, you guys really have a lot, especially in the UK. It seems like there's a lot of really good super dwarf breeders. There's a few really good ones over there in Ireland as well, and then in Germany, there's a lot of cool guys.
Murray Mack, I think.
Yeah, he's from Ireland. And then, yeah, Susie Robb. I don't know if she's still doing it in Scotland. She has a bunch of my super dwarves even. But there's a couple names, but you can look around. They're definitely out there. You guys have a much broader super dwarf market than we do here in the United States. Actually, we're one of the few people that are really trying to specialize in one thing and do it right. But you guys got a lot of folks like that over Europe. So, what's going on?
Someone says my female. It was. Oh, we got a super chat. Someone said my female ball python likes to try and choke me out. I have to take off my necklace when I have her out. Not getting any boa or retic anytime soon.
Yeah, there you go. I would say don't put her around your neck. Put one side over your shoulder, put the other side up under your arm or something like that.
All right,
Yeah.
super chat.
This
They
one's
can
you.
hang on tight. Oh,
You.
all right. No, we got Thomas. Thomas
No.
hasn't done one yet.
Oh, get it.
Just remembering Summers.
Woohoo!
How did it go again?
There you go. Oh, it wasn't that. It was super
I know,
chatted
just
again.
arm thing.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
There was
remember.
some
That's
of this
what
and
you
some of
get.
that. We'll have to try to. Fix
We'll have to
that.
go back and review it.
All right, into the mystery. How do we treat respiratory? My retic has just started clicking when she breathes heavily, has a lot less energy, still eating well. That doesn't have any openings for over a month. So the thing about respiratory infection, you have to figure out what's infecting it. So they'll have to take cultures and then figure out what, like if it's bacteria, then they can figure out which antibiotics are resistant against it. There's not like a one size fits all solution, and then you have to get the dosing exactly right for the size of your snake. So I don't know. One place you can go is can you type this one up? But it's aarav.org. Just put it in the comment section. It's like ARAV, American Association of Reptile and Amphibian Vets. .org. You put in your zip code, they'll tell you a list of like registered reptile vets in your area, and that's for all of you guys that are stateside. Good resource to have. So that sounds like, what you're describing does sound like it could be a respiratory infection. So first thing you want to do is look at your husbandry and check it out. You can look up our setting up a super dwarf retic enclosure. It gives some temperature and humidity parameters and stuff. There's a video on that. But I would probably try to get it to the vet. Home treatment for stuff like that. If you do it well, you can knock it out. And even though you got to spend a little bit of money at the vet, you'll take care of it real quick. It won't be a major issue, and you'll be good to go from there. You try to do stuff at home if you're not familiar with what you're doing and home remedy. That doesn't always go so well. You know what I'm saying? Like we have protocols and stuff that we do here, but they're all run through our vet, and we still have to send in cultures to figure out what exactly it is that's infecting. You've been through that before.
Yeah.
With Jess?
And with Jesse and stuff, and it was a definite learning experience. The great thing about it, we got a lot of educational videos, to help you guys out. So if you can't take your vet, or you take your snake to the vet every time. So there's a lot of times they'll give you the needle and everything, and to teach you how to dose. And so once you learn how to do it, it's plausible to do it. I think you need to have somebody teach you, an experienced reptile person.
When you need to get the medication. So you still have to swab your animal, send it in for a culture, figure out what it is that's causing it. So
Scottish Rob.
Scottish Rob, what's up? What's up, Scottish Rob?
Are there specific questions to ask a breeder to determine the quality of super dwarf? Or specific things that can determine quality versus scamming? Oh, and Motley GC's role.
Yeah. So we have quite a few videos called like who never to buy from and stuff, why to buy from a good breeder. Honestly, I think you want to go from recommendations and go with the best breeder that you possibly can. But you want to ask, like, okay, so what locality is? People will put numbers and localities on stuff. They used to just call it dwarf or super dwarf, and they wouldn't mess with the percentage numbers and localities. But that's tracking like how much of that dwarf island blood is in there. So even the scammers have gotten savvy to that fact that they need to put something on there. So the first way to rule out a scammer is if they're calling something a dwarf or a super dwarf, and it's less than 50% of that dwarf or super dwarf blood, they're already stretching the truth. You know what I mean? Because you shouldn't, the minimum industry standard to call something a dwarf or a super dwarf is 50%. So if they're under 50%, just write that person off. There's nothing wrong with breeding a snake that has less than 50% in it. But if they're calling it a super dwarf and it has less than 50% super dwarf blood in it, they're already falling well below the industry standard. So they're not and meeting the minimum requirements. So that'd be the first thing. The next thing is like if they have percentages, let's say someone says something's, if it's a 75% super dwarf albino, explain how they got there.
Yeah.
You know, what breedings were done. And if they want to claim a really high percentage like that, they should be able to at least tell you how they got there. You know what I'm saying?
Super chat.
So,
and it's
Sanford,
not
no
easy.
need to dance. Thanks, Will. So, what's up, buddy? How you been? You guys know William Sanford. He's doing quietly doing sneaky cool things over there too right now.
Always.
Am I supposed to say that live? I don't know. But thanks for joining the live. So, anyway, yeah, just asking those questions. Go back and watch a couple dwarves about like who never to buy them from and stuff like that. Just educate yourself a little bit on the process, and then go from there. You know.
Yep.
So.
People want to know what's in the enclosure behind you guys.
Snake. It's a super dwarf. This girl is actually somebody. It's a good example of misrepresentation. Actually, somebody had a. They were originally told it was an 87.5% super dwarf albino. Turns out it was an albino mainland from the genetic stripe bloodline. That a lot of people said the first genetic stripes imported were dwarfs, even though there was no locality data that came with them.
Right.
But they were a smaller growing locality, whatever they were. And so, but they've been bred out to albinos, and certain breeders just kind of called them dwarves forever.
Yep.
And then, like a game of telephone, some got passed on. If you're getting stuff from Craigslist, you really can't believe that stuff unless they have like emails or screenshots or like we do
One of our
whenever we
cards,
sell.
yeah.
Whenever we sell stuff, we do like a hatch certificate, you know, that explains the mom and the dad, and then you can reference it. If you guys want, go check out our 2021 breedings. You can see mom, dad, a picture of all the babies.
Yep.
And so if you're buying a baby from us in 2021, there should be a picture of it on our website. If it's not there, we didn't breed it. We didn't sell it. So anyway, they took this snake through this telephone game. It got to this impossible number of 87.5% super dwarf albino, which doesn't exist yet. And they bred that animal, which was technically a smaller growing mainland albino, to a pure Kayawati. So this animal came out. It was pretty cool. And once I traced the bloodline, because I bought the whole clutch of them, I thought they were beautiful animals. I knew the mom. It was a Winslow Murdoch line Kayawati. It was actually Doc Murdoch that did the breeding. And so the albino belonged to a buddy of his, and I traced the bloodline back, and I found out it had come from these albino genetic stripe breedings, which have no super dwarf in it at all. And so the reason I traced it was because I said, well, I'll call it a 50% Kayawati, because I know that part, but it was supposed to be this like 92% super dwarf, and I just told him like I can't in good conscience call it that if I don't have the bloodline information. So I got what I could, and I chased it back, and I found out what that was. But what's exciting about that is there are no super dwarf genetic stripes. There are none.
Nope.
So that's an albino from the genetic stripe bloodline. So it's probably, you know, like, I mean, I know how that stuff worked. I was there with all the old albino genetic stripe breedings and things like that. They're breeding double hets together and getting albinos. They call them dwarves, and they'd be posset genetic stripes.
Right.
66% possets. So I have a suspicion that her dad was actually an albino 66% posset genetic stripe. So she's a 50% Kayawati from a pure super dwarf mom. You know, she's already 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So she's growing up. There are no super dwarf genetic stripes. And so planning for her, and my suspicion, I picked the nice stripiest looking, like maybe het genetic stripe female I could. And then we actually produced, well, Scott Bolter, my buddy, bred a pure TK to a Sunfire genetic stripe. They used to be owned by you, William Sanford. You remember that girl? And she was a posset albino. So that one's 100% het albino posset genetic stripe. Now we got 50% Kalatoa, 100% het genetic stripe posset albinos. So I run that male to that female. We'll make some super colorful, smallish super dwarf genetic stripes. Make some of the first super dwarf genetic stripes. So
Somebody wants to know how did you get into
Travis.
reptiles, and what was your first reptile?
I was not allowed to have reptiles. It was funny. I hear a lot of people saying like, I wish I could afford reptiles and stuff like that. And I'm like, kids, listen. Yeah, what did I say?
Go outside.
Go outside.
They're everywhere. You just gotta go look for them.
I mean, when
educate yourself a little bit on where to go look for, snakes, and then what their actual habitat is, and you can find them.
Yeah. So my very first pair, I was born here in Pittsburgh, and I only lived here till I was 5. And then I ended up moving around a lot. But my very first, I don't know if you know this or not, but my first reptiles were a pair of box turtles. And they kind of like lived in the backyard and then escaped one day or whatever. Like escaped one day, and my dad said I wasn't allowed to go catch them. So,
like all of my animals growing up, they ran away. The goldfish ran away. They ran away. Like,
That's
I don't know how.
So that was Jonathan and Pearl. And I was a little kid, but I still remember what they looked like. I used to tie yarn around Jonathan's shell and take him to the park for there was some blackberry bushes.
Yeah.
And he'd go eat all the blackberries and stuff like that. So I had him for a few years, and then ended up letting him go. And then I had different animals as I was growing up. I remember we first moved to LA. I got a little green anole, and that guy was cool. He didn't like me at all. He didn't look anything like those emerald tree skinks. He was just trying to take off all the time. But
All the time.
like my parents wouldn't even go buy crickets for me or anything, so I was always catching spiders and moths and things like that and feeding to them. The first species of reptile I bred was also something that I caught natively in my backyard. That was in California. That was a Southern Pacific rattlesnake. But I had to hide them from my mom because I wasn't allowed.
Telling me about that.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed snakes. She didn't like any snakes. So I was allowed to have lizards, and then I started breeding leopard geckos back in the 90s. I remember I paid $5,000 for my first blizzard lizard. So that's when I started breeding. It was way back then. I think 14 when I bred those. So I mean, I've had, there are few, I have not had emerald tree skinks. But there are a few other reptiles I can think of
I'll say
that
even
are
in
popular.
the, let's see, I met you in 2016, I guess now.
Oh, I had a bunch.
And you had a bunch of different stuff. You had the water lizards. You had those.
Yeah, Malagasy diving skinks, Amphiglossus reticulatus.
You had a
They used to do water
Mexican beaded
life.
lizard at that time.
That's right, I did have the Mexican beaded lizard.
You had
here.
some mainlands at that time.
A couple chameleons.
Yes, yeah, you had.
Do you remember the
chameleons.
Madagascan leaf nose snakes?
Yeah, you had those.
Yeah.
Did
those
you
are
ever
pretty
find
cool.
out if that female ever laid?
I don't think so. I
I
sent it to somebody. I had a group. I really wanted to breed those. Do you remember the scrub pythons?
Oh, I remember the scrubs.
I had a bunch of scrub
I remember the
pythons.
scrubs.
Really nice ones. Actually,
Remember-
a lot of them are over with Stephen Cush now.
The largest blood python I've ever seen.
Danielle, wow, the
I've got-
largest I've ever seen. She was almost 8 feet.
I know. Like I've
So-
I've still got pictures with her. Like it's awesome.
Monster. She's over with Stephen Cush Desiree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, over there now too. She's over.
Yeah.
They got all that cool stuff over there.
Why the hell that happens?
The diving skinks are
Listen,
still here around
it's just-
Pittsburgh with a buddy of mine.
Yeah, it's just about talking you out of it.
I like pets. I pick them up way too easy.
That's
The
my problem.
ones I'm kind of getting into right now. Have we showed my pickup from Schaumburg? Do you guys know what I picked up at Schaumburg?
Yeah,
Leave it in
I
the
think we
comments.
mentioned it, but you can grab it if you
I
want.
think I might
Now
have
would be a
shown
great
it.
time to also do.
Go ahead, ask him a
snake
question.
naming.
Take this one.
Well, we should get into name snakes because we only got a couple minutes left.
Go. Oh, snakes.
And then someone's mentioning and saying that we won the snake discovery thing. So the poll is still open until Sunday.
It's open
So
till Sunday.
we're
It is
winning.
It is not over yet. We haven't released our video yet, but I mean, you guys know how this goes. Look at the last election. You know what I'm saying? Stuff.
Oh,
is
there you go,
so-
making it political again, Garrett.
I know. Well, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying stuff changed at the end, and everyone was like, "What? No way!" So if you guys think ours was the best, please don't think like that we got it and just sit back, because that would be a major disadvantage to us. All right, so
I haven't voted yet.
Oh, come on.
So I think we ought to just go ahead and name this girl. Have you seen this one?
I don't know. We'll see.
It's not a retic.
Oh,
I have
it's
seen this one.
all right. Give me the rolly stool.
This is what it says right now. Rock.
Yeah, no, trust me.
So
I got yelled at for it.
I have always loved this species. It is not a small snake, and it is not a snake for everyone.
Oh, that snake's actually gotten bigger since I've seen
But
it.
these are, well, yeah, it's an African rock python. So this is an African rock python. It's definitely one of the big five, and they certainly do get big. A lot of people think that these are like Burmese pythons. I can tell you this right now. I really don't like Burmese pythons. I love retics and I love rock pythons. In fact, if you go on my Facebook profile pictures and you click back through, I actually flew to Scotland to visit the world's only albino African rock python. I've got a picture of it looking at him like this, you know.
Super chat.
And
Quick.
super chat.
From
Woo!
Duran. When's the
What's
new
up,
channel
Duran?
coming? Reptile Renovations with Garrett Hartle.
I don't know about that. I already got requests to come build pallet wood enclosures for people. So, but this is her. So it is my new rock python. It is one of my very few impulse buys, but it wasn't necessarily too impulsive. I've been thinking for a very long time, like, you know, I miss rock pythons. And so this girl was super cute. She was really tiny. I don't know if you can tell. She's got a great temperament. So that's unusual for them as hatchlings. But she's an absolute sweetheart. So I wouldn't mind her growing up to be a big, gigantic snake the way they do. I love these Oreo cookie sides, that exotic pattern. But she needs a name.
Okay, explain how the name thing works.
All right, if you guys are new, here's how we do it. You shout out in the comments a name. Thomas will read them off, and I'll be like, yeah,
Without saying who said it. It's completely anonymous.
It's anonymous, so you have to win on merit. But, yeah, we need to pick a name for this African rock python. It's a girl.
Oh, they're coming in. All right.
All right. Let's hear 'em.
Mustafa, Rocket, Oreo, Andy.
Let's hear it. So
Keep
just
them
shout
coming.
it out. Shout it
Rocky
out until I pick one.
Balboa, Oreo, Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, Dwayne,
Dwayne. It would be good if it was a girl.
Alvara.
It's, you know what's funny is I actually used to know a bartender that was a girl whose name was Rocky. And I was like, what is that? Is that a nickname or something? And she's like, no, my parents named me that. And her name was Rocky. She showed me driver's license. I was like, oh.
That's
She was
cool.
super cool, but that's maybe a little bit too cliche for a rock python.
I think.
Okay, Alvera, Gertrude,
Oh, I
Crystal,
like Elvira.
Cookie, Toff,
She's pooping all over.
Stallone, Rasta,
It's a girl. We need a sweet girl's name. I'll give you that. That's kind of
Chippy.
what I'm looking for her.
I like
Snake.
Elvira.
What's Elvira?
It was like Elvara. It wasn't quite
Oh,
the
was
same.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep going.
Oof, man, they're coming quick. All right, hold on. I have to see where I left off.
Go look on there.
All
and
right,
start shouting out
Bedrock,
if you missed
Cookie,
any.
Simba, Bularg, Sindel, Amethyst, Clovis,
I like Bedrock.
Zorita.
Stones.
Jasmine.
Garnet, Adrian, Topaz, Adrian, Rocky, then Hold on, how do you say it? Azalea, somebody's super chat. I can't read.
Keep going,
Ava,
guys.
Princess
Nothing
Fluffy Pants. You go Amani, Cookie,
I
Nyaman,
like the Bedrock. I'm kind of digging the
Adrian,
Flintstones
Pinky,
direction.
as in Pinky Tuscadero, and the Rockettes. Amy B says no dance, solid enclosure build. Way to build suspense.
That's pretty cute. Woo, thank you. What was that one?
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett.
Pebbles
Pebbles.
is good.
I like Pebbles.
I like Pebbles too. All right, Pebbles gets it.
Okay, Duran came up with
from
Pebbles.
Bedrock. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, freaking A. Come on, Duran always wins. Oh my gosh.
Duran has.
We're gonna start saying Duran says. and just count it out.
Duran has named more snakes here than you have.
I think you're right. I almost wrote Duran. Is he okay? Pebbles.
Pebbles.
I don't know if he was the first one to come up with Pebbles the first time I saw it, but
All right, whoever was
he did it in all caps.
whoever the
So
first one though, make sure you just shout it in the comments here again, because we'll take a picture with her and send it to you.
I'm gonna go with Duran because I don't remember seeing it before.
We'll let you out. Well,
I didn't
if
see
you
it.
are missing someone, someone else shouted out before he did. All right, Pebbles.
Oh, hold on.
Let's
Oh,
get a
Mr.
boy.
and Mrs. Morelia said Pebbles.
All right, there we go.
Duran.
All right, send
Well,
us.
Duran, I saw yours because you all capped it.
Please send me, guys, send me to info@reachoutReptiles.com. Joe will answer, actually.
Yeah.
But we need to get your address, and we'll send you a little picture like this. So, for those of you guys that don't know Duran, that's this skunk right here. It's always stealing everybody. All right,
Yeah.
we need to name one of the boys. The boys. How about this guy? I don't have a name for him yet. So I was just talking to you guys about a little history of the up-and-coming Genetic Strike Project. So this is going to be our founding male for that project. He's a new little baby. This is 50% Kalatoa. Woohoo! And he's a Sunfire 100% Genetic Strike.
Duran says he would have had it first, but he typed it in caps. Well,
Sorry about your luck,
Snooze
bud.
Gotta get
lose.
better
Look
at
at that.
typing.
All right, so I picked this guy for this inky
Don't look at the
black.
names.
It's very I'm just looking at the framing
I know,
so I
but
can get
I'm
him in there.
covering it.
All right. So he's very like kind of un-Kalatoa looking, except for the broken neck pattern and trying to have the dorsal stripe. But they're actually like working against each other on there. So I picked this guy because I think this specific animal will make beautiful.
Someone suggested
photos.
Ed.
Ed, all right.
Inky. Clint.
Clint.
Now we're just naming YouTubers.
Was it Clint that said Clint?
No.
Because that would be funny.
Picasso, Ego, Fettuccine,
Picasso.
Bam Bam.
I like it.
Picasso.
Picasso, it's perfect.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Wistren.
I love it. Picasso it is. That
All
was
right.
an easy one.
So they got to hit us up at info@reachreptiles.com.
Yep, send us an email. Picasso.
What should they put in the subject?
So, just put I named your snake. And so let us know that you named Picasso, and then we'll actually get a picture of it. Thomas will make sure that he gets a picture of me with the snake, and we'll send it out to you guys.
Is that how this works?
That's how it works. It's all you now, buddy.
Sweet.
All right. And how are we? Are we good?
Yeah.
Are we
No,
gonna make
we're done. If that's
We're
what you're
done.
wondering.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys very much for joining. If you haven't done so already, please jump over to the link down here so that you can vote for our build over at the Snake Discovery. We'd love to win that. I think that would be great and a huge help to our channel. It already has been.
Putting up a post too.
Yeah, stay
for
tuned
questions.
tomorrow. You guys asked. If you haven't liked this video already, please do so. We're really trying to just kind of springboard off the generosity of the guys at Snake Discovery. They're doing so. They're just freaking crushing it on YouTube. So it really helps us to be more involved with the community. The more you guys participate with our channel here, we can do that. So please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't.
Also,
And-
last thing, if we missed your question, we do put up a post right after this and on Mondays to
On
get
our
questions,
community post.
and we'll look at those occasionally when we have nothing else to talk about.
No, we'll get to them.
But we'll get to
we'll
a-
stack them up.
exactly,
We'll
you got
get to the
priority.
questions there. So otherwise, tune back in tomorrow and you can see our perspective on that build and see what we were doing for those 5 hours. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next.